Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Alright, so, has there ever been, like, a wrestler or any wrestlers that you really have felt should not have become world champion before? Wrestlers that have become world champion that you feel shouldn't have won the title at all? Because, yeah, there's been, like, people that have said, like, there were certain wrestlers that are former world champions that never should have won the world championship in the first place. So, yeah, everybody has the wrestlers that they feel never should have won world titles. And so, for this video, I decided to just put a list together of my picks for the top 10 people in wrestling that shouldn't have become the world champion. So, yeah, for this list, this list, like, there may be some people that may not like some of my choices in this list. Yes, but they're just the people that I have in here are just like people that really like either should not have become the world champion at all, period, and they did, or just like I also have like another twist on this where like for some of my choices here, it's not really like people that really just should not have become world champion at all, but it's just like the way that they did become the champion, just like the way that they did win it, just like because of how they really were not built up properly to become the champion in time. Like their title just like their title wins just like happened too early, or just like they really just became the champion for the wrong reasons, really. All right, right, and so yeah, if there's anybody that I have in this that I don't have in this list that you feel shouldn't have become a world champion in their career, just leave them in the comments. Tell me who you think that that won a world title that really should not have become world champion at all in their careers. Alright, so yeah, let me just get started with this top 10 countdown of the top 10 people in wrestling that shouldn't have become a world champion. Alright. Alright, so number 10 on the list is Mark Henry. So, yeah, Mark Henry won the World Heavyweight title from Randy Orton at Night of Champions in 2011. I mean, there were people that were happy about Mark Henry winning the title because of how long he had been wrestling for. But really, just I felt that it was just the wrong thing for Mark Henry at this point because I mean, Mark Henry was an old school wrestler from the Attitude Era, and he became the world champion in 2011. I mean, gosh, just I know Mark Henry really was a full-time wrestler, but I just felt that this was too late. I mean, Mark Henry had been in the WWE for like over 10 years, and he really was never like treated as a main eventer during that time. And all of a sudden, we were like he was pushed into like a main event spot, and he became the champion. Just I felt that they did this all wrong because I mean, first it just felt like too late, and plus just the way they have like the veterans that have been wrestling for a while become the champion and have like lengthy title reigns. Like the previous year in 2010, they did that with Kane, where Kane became the World Heavyweight Champion, and Kane held the title for like 6 months. And then they did that with Mark Henry in 2011. Just they had Mark Henry win the World Heavyweight Championship, and he held the title for like was it like 3-4 months? Just, I mean, I feel like the old veterans like that have been around for a while, I really feel like they shouldn't really be like going for the titles like that for very long. I mean, there are some times when it does work, like if they are actually like returning full time, like if they have like making returns for new runs in their company, but and especially if they're like big legends. Like when Hulk Hogan became the Undisputed Champion in 2002, like that was a right move because I mean Hulk Hogan was just a mega icon and this was his big return to the company and it completed his comeback by becoming the champion. Like that works. But with Mark Henry, I mean, was Mark Henry really like that big of a legend in the wrestling industry? I mean, no, I mean, I don't think people immediately think of Mark Henry when they think of like legends in the WWE. Yeah, just like Mark Henry was wrestling for so long, and he just like becomes the champion like after he's been in the company for like what 12 years. So yeah, I just feel like Mark Henry just became the champion too late, and plus it's like he's just really not that big of a name for the WWE. So yeah, I just felt Mark Henry's title win was really done wrong. So yeah, number 10 was Mark Henry. All right, at number 9, this is where probably some people are gonna be pretty upset. My choice for number 9 is Eddie Guerrero. So yeah, you know that people are probably gonna be angry about this, but just the way Eddie Guerrero really became the champion, just like it just felt so soon. Like I'm not really talking about like what happened in the match itself with the interference from Goldberg attacking Brock Lesnar. I'm not really talking about that, but just like Eddie Guerrero, just like he was just like right away. This was just like right when he was like made into a singles competitor after he broke away from Chavo, and he was just going off like 1 month of being a singles competitor, and they all automatically give him, well, not automatically, but yeah, they immediately give him a match for the title, and he wins it. Just like this was done so wrong. Like it's not like what happened with Edge, where they were like building up Edge for like years. Like after Edge became King of the Ring in 2001, he was then like eventually like broke away from Christian, and then Edge was then passed off as a singles competitor, and yeah, they were just like doing everything they were able to do with him for like the 4 years or something until he won his first championship. So yeah, they were actually like building Edge throughout the years before he actually became the champion. But with Eddie Guerrero here, it's just like they make him a singles competitor, and then they just immediately give him the WWE title just a month after that. I mean, they should have like built this up a little bit more. I think. I mean, I know like this was just like a month before WrestleMania that year when Eddie Guerrero became the champion. But I mean, I felt that they could have probably like pushed this off for a little bit. Like after Eddie broke away from Chavo in 2004, they probably could have like just had him like being built as a singles competitor throughout the spring and the summer that year, and then they probably could have had Eddie Guerrero like become the champion at SummerSlam or something. But I just felt like it was too soon for Eddie to become the champion, just because immediately when he broke away from Chavo, he became the champion. Like I felt like that really happened too soon. Like they just rushed it. Like it was still like the crowds really did like it, but if you really think about it, it really did kind of happen too soon, and it was just really rushed. So yeah, I'm not really saying that Eddie Guerrero never should have become the champion, but the way he did it was really just like they didn't do it right, I don't think. So yeah, number 9 is Eddie Guerrero. Number 8 is Rey Mysterio. So people have really just said everything about this, just like they gave Rey Mysterio the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 22. They did it for the wrong reasons, really. I mean, they just gave Rey Mysterio the push they did that year because of Eddie Guerrero's death. Like, they didn't. It wasn't really much of a well-deserved thing for Rey Mysterio. Like, they were trying to like say Rey Mysterio had been working towards it for his entire wrestling career, which I mean that is every wrestler's goal. But I mean, if Eddie Guerrero hadn't have died, do you really think that they would have done what they did with Rey Mysterio? I mean, yeah, the only reason they really did this was because because of Eddie Guerrero's death. They didn't really like give Rey Mysterio the push and title because he really did like earn it like that. I mean, it was just for Eddie Guerrero's death. Like they didn't have Rey Mysterio win the title for the wrong reason. I mean, for the right reasons. I mean, if they could have done this for the right reasons, and if they did, it would have been good. Like I wouldn't have Rey Mysterio here, but just because their reason for doing it, it just really does not. It really doesn't make it like well deserved for Rey Mysterio to become the champion. So yeah, everybody really has talked about this. So I really don't need to know too much about it. But yeah, everybody knows Like, Rey Mysterio won the championship for the wrong reasons, really. Alright, so number 8 is Rey Mysterio. Number 7 is Diesel. Diesel won the championship from Bob Backlund in 1994, 3 days after Survivor Series that year. And then Diesel like held the title for basically a year, and boy was he bad. I mean, Diesel was just having bad match after bad match after bad match while he was the champion. See, I mean, they were just like, I guess they were just trying to make Diesel seem like the big guy and like just nobody could stop him and stuff. But I mean, Diesel, like, I can't remember one good match that he had. Well, except for like when he lost the title to Bret Hart the next year at Survivor Series. But other than that, I mean, like, he had the terrible match with Mabel at SummerSlam. He had the bad match with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. I mean, yeah, Diesel's title reign was just full of bad matches. And yeah, just Diesel was a really boring champion. And just, he held it for way too long. Just, did he really have to hold it for a year? I mean, was there really nobody else? I mean, I know, like, the WWF was, like, really bad during that time, but I mean, you couldn't have, like, given it to somebody else. Like, you couldn't have actually, like, given it to somebody, like, you couldn't have had, like, a rivalry going on, like, the Bret Hart-Owen Hart rivalry still going on, where, like, Owen Hart would become the champion, and then Bret Hart would eventually regain the title. I know, like, yeah, and Shawn Michaels really was not, really wouldn't say he was ready yet. That was still during the time he was still, like, his mid-card, or cocky, arrogant self. It wasn't really, like, despite the fact that he won the Royal Rumble in 1995, that still wasn't the time where he became, like, the big, huge star that people think of today when hearing Shawn Michaels. Like, Shawn Michaels didn't really become that until, like, the next year. So, yeah, but, I mean, just, so I guess there really wasn't very many people around to become the champion at the time, but was Diesel really the best one to go with? So, yeah, Diesel, bad champion and boring champion. Alright, so, yeah, number 7 is Diesel. Number 6 is The Miz. So, yeah, this one may also kind of be kind of a controversial pick because, I mean, there were some people that were glad about The Miz becoming champion. Others really weren't. I mean, I guess it wasn't really, like, as bad as people have said. Like, just, like, Miz just really wasn't built up properly. And, yeah, he really, like, I do agree with that. Like, he really wasn't built up that well. I mean, after he won the Money in the Bank that year, you're, like, nothing really was done with him. Like, he did, like, become the U.S. champion during that time, and there was his rivalry with Daniel Bryan, but was that really enough? Because, I mean, they had, like, The Miz being, like, with Alex Riley during that time, and they were just doing their stuff. And then just, yeah, you had the rivalry going on with, like, John Cena, the Nexus, and Randy Orton going on. And then The Miz just came out and just randomly cashed in Money in the Bank when, like, nothing was really going on between him and Randy Orton. Like, I know that does happen a lot, but this just came, like, I felt that this was, like, the wrong time for Miz to cash it in. And just, like, right when we're coming off of, like, the stuff with John Cena being quote-unquote fired, and, like, this still with the Nexus rivalry going on, and Randy Orton being brought into it and stuff. And just, you have The Miz coming out, and plus, yeah, The Miz really didn't have that many great matches with during his title reign. And, like, he had, like, the stuff with John Cena, like, going to WrestleMania and stuff. And then, The Miz was defending his title against Jerry Lawler, of all people. So, I mean, I felt like The Miz's title reign was just, like, handled pretty wrongly, because, I mean, they didn't really, like, take Miz that seriously, because having him, like, face Jerry Lawler and John Cena and a bunch of other people like that, they're just, yeah, Miz just really wasn't treated very seriously as the WWE champion. And plus, look where he is right now. Like, he's basically just lowered back down to where he was before. So, yeah, I think that just says at all. So number 6 is The Miz. Number 5 is JBL. Gosh, I mean, yeah, everybody has really complained about JBL's title reign. I mean, JBL was just like really not a very good champion. He held that title for like 10 months, and plus he really wasn't having very good matches. Like, there was like last ride match with The Undertaker, which was a decent match. There was Booker T, which was a. There was like barbed wire steel cage with Big Show at No Way Out, which was another kind of just match. And also with John Cena at WrestleMania 21 where he lost it. Oh boy. And plus, yeah, it just feels like this is kind of like all a similar thing like what I was just talking about with Eddie Guerrero. Like JBL just got like a huge push, just like this was just like recently right after he broke away from Farouk in the APA, and then he got this JBL gimmick, and he was just like awarded a championship match by Kurt Angle who for just some reason. And then like it was later then and led up to like the match with Eddie Guerrero at the Great American Bash. And then JBL just becomes the champion and he holds it for 10 months. Like it just felt like it happened too soon and they didn't really build JBL up right. And then he just like gets the huge push he does. And yeah, I'm really not a fan of JBL, and yeah, this really just it was done pretty wrong. I mean, people complain about like Triple H and like what he was doing with the World Heavyweight title on Raw, but SmackDown, this was kind of the same thing, in a way, with JBL as the WWE champion. Yeah, JBL just like his title reign wasn't done very right either, nor was his push. So yeah, number 5 is JBL. Number 4 is Psycho Sid. Oh man, I mean, Sid was a really bad competitor, and I really don't know whose idea it was to actually have him become the WWF champion in like 1996 and 1997. I mean, he was just a really bad champion and a bad competitor. I mean, yeah, and yeah, he had that awful title match with Undertaker at WrestleMania 13. Just, yeah, Sid just bad champion. Yeah, just yeah, shortest explanation ever. Bad champion and a bad wrestler. Alright, so yeah, number 4 is Psycho Sid. Number 3 is the Great Khali. Oh, why did they make the Great Khali the World Heavyweight Champion in 2007? I mean, during that time, like, on SmackDown, there were, like, quite the number of injuries, like Undertaker being injured, Edge being injured, and there were, like, a few other injuries that you're in, like, on SmackDown. Man, I don't see why they gave it to the Great Khali. I mean, what was wrong with like giving it to Batista? Like Batista was like one of the top stars of SmackDown that year, and he was just fine. Really don't see why they didn't give it to him. They gave it to the Great Khali instead, and yeah, the Great Khali just had an awful title reign, a bad champion. Yeah, if this was probably like the worst champion in history, Great Khali would probably be like in the same spot, maybe probably even higher. Yeah, Great Khali, awful champion. And yeah, he had the awful, horrible match with Batista at SummerSlam that year. Just, yeah, the Great Khali was just bad champion altogether. Yeah, and there was really no reason for the Great Khali to even become the world champion at all. Just awful title reign and awful champion. So, yeah, number 3 is the Great Khali. Number 2 is Vince McMahon. Oh, the ego that this guy has. I mean, why did Vince McMahon actually, like, decide to make himself his own champion in 1999 against Triple H? I really didn't see what the point in this is at all. Like I was just said, this was probably just shows the big ego that Vince McMahon really has. And this was during the time when the WWE were just skyrocketing over WCW, and I guess Vince McMahon just felt that he could just do anything he wanted and get away with it. Yeah, and yeah, he just felt that since like WCW was not going to come back over them, he just felt that he could do anything he could. But oh gosh, this just shows what he does. I mean, a lot of people complained about Vince McMahon making himself the ECW champion in 2007. This was just like saying how he discriminated ECW. But look at this. This is his own title. He's the owner of the company, and he actually makes himself the champion. And then, what does he do? He vacates it. hit like right away, like not even a week after. So why did he even become the champion in the first place? Oh, just the ego this guy has. So yeah, number 2 is Vince McMahon. And number 1 is David Arquette and Vince Russo. Everybody knows how dumb both of these were. Vince Russo thought of both of these. He thought that they could get good publicity in WCW with an actor becoming the champion. And really stupid move right there. And David Arquette didn't even want to do that. And he still agreed to it. Like, why? And Vince Russo made himself the champion for I don't even know what he was thinking with that. Just Vince Russo, he's an idiot. Gosh, and what's even more pathetic about this is that Vince Russo, he still does stand by his decision to make David Arquette the world champion. Seriously, you're really supporting, still behind, an idea that was one of the things that really made you go down and go out of business. Gosh, Vince Russo, he's just an idiot, and I don't even. Gosh, I mean, I guess it does like make sense in a way why he made David Arquette the champion because he wanted to get some publicity. But I mean, seriously, David Arquette is not even like a top-notch actor. Like David Arquette, he's probably like in this long line of actors, he's probably like maybe like even just like right here compared to like people like Jack Nicholson, Tommy Lee Jones, Will Smith, Denzel Washington, Jim Carrey, Johnny Depp. Like they're way up here, and David Arquette is like just like right here. Like seriously, what is that? Seriously, I mean, Vince Russo becoming the champion was just like, yeah, I don't even know why. But yeah, I think these are definitely like the dumbest things to ever, the two dumbest things to make people the world champion. There's no reason why either one of those guys absolutely not should have become the world champion. Like, it's even dumber than Vince McMahon becoming the WWF champion. So yeah, number 1 is David Arquette and Vince Russo. Alright, so yeah, that's my list of the top 10 people in wrestling that never should have become the world champion. Yeah, like I said, if there's any former world champion that you feel should never have become world champion, put them in the comments. Tell me who your picks are, who you think never should have become world champion. Alright, so that does for my video, and yeah, for my next video, my next video is where I'm going to be announcing what my plans are this year for Christmas. So stay tuned for my next video where I'll be announcing that. Alright, but I hope you guys enjoyed this and I hope you enjoyed this video, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.